Hi, my name is Cameron Carlson with AnimeLocation.tv. I'm here at Animatic 2021 with Rgbfoxie and Rgbwolfie. How you guys doing?
Doing good.
Doing great.
Alrighty, so I'm going to ask you guys individually, how do you both get started in the world of cosplay? Who wants to start first?
We were at like a Kroger. Like, we've always wanted to make cosplay costumes. We were at Kroger, and I don't know how we got into the conversation, but some girl was like, "Hey, there's this Comic-Con coming up called Kintokyo. You should go." And that's how we got involved. And we're like, "Oh well, we have to make our own." We didn't know people bought costumes. We didn't even know that was a thing. And so we made our own costumes and went to Kintokyo for the first time, and that was in 2016.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty much it was that, and then I was kind of going through transitioning, trying to question myself on going from male to female, and so I felt like that would have been the greatest way to actually test the waters out in public, presenting as female and not kind of being like, oh no, if I pass or not. So that was one of the other reasons why.
Well, I'm grateful you guys are both here today. So based on some of your photos online, Wolfie, Twitter, you happen to be making one impressive set of light forged Draenei armor. How hard is it working on that, and what was the easiest part of working on it? I'll give you the mic so you can answer.
Okay, the Lightforged Draenei armor. The hardest part of that set was pretty much almost everything of it. Between the shoulder pieces, trying to get them shaped properly, and the chest piece, trying to get that shaped and formed to my body and be able to actually move in it was almost impossible. Easiest part was the hooves, making the boots for that, because they were actually just boots with craft foam on them. So.
Okay. I've seen some people do the reverse hoof, and I was like, man, that's got to be really tough on your legs.
I was like, I am not going to walk around in heelless boots all day. I was like, I'm going to make it a little bit comfortable.
I already know. Foxy, you happen to be talking about your initial jump into cosplay. You talked about your first cosplay and the challenges you had to overcome. Do you feel that experience has taught you lessons and increased your skills over time?
Yeah, it was just getting into sewing. Like, I made a really bad mistake of picking a really thin fabric, and I didn't, always try your stuff on makeup and everything, because I tried it on, and I was like, well, it's a little see-through, but I'm sure there's been worse at Comic-Con, so I went anyway.
Yeah, because I remember you talking about it on various platforms. So you both have a love for My Hero Academia, the various characters. You have both cosplayed characters alongside one another. What has been one of the most fun to make and one of the hardest to make?
Well, for me, I haven't really made anything for My Hero yet. She's done more of the foam work, I've done more of the sewing. So she made, I did Mount Lady, she actually made the horns and the mask for me.
Okay.
And the suit was bought because I don't know how to make those printed bodysuits yet.
Then when I did the Deku, I did have a mashup between Borderlands and My Hero Academia and did a Vault Hunter Deku. It really kind of taught me, you got to be sure if you're going to have armor pieces look like they're floating on your body, make sure they're strapped properly. Otherwise, you're going to be constantly all day moving stuff around. And so that kind of really taught me on that. But it was fun. I kind of wish I'd go back to it and maybe redo it a little bit. But, that's just normal.
I think as every cosplayer, they go, I could do that better. I could do that better. Alrighty, so now for your That Time I Was Reincarnated as a Slime panel cosplays, you both did fantastic jobs. Though, again, what was the hardest part of doing those? I mean, I saw you guys both do them, so it was very, very wonderful. So how hard was it to get that to all line up for you guys?
The hardest part for me was, a long time ago, I did a gold set where I painted the boots gold, and I did spray paint, and it worked. So I was like, I'm just going to do the same thing over again and spray paint the boots. And that was the worst part because I started, as it dried and it was the day of the con again, I wasn't trying stuff on beforehand. The boots started to slowly crack. Because I didn't know about leather paint and that was a thing. Yeah, Angelus leather paint. So yeah, I went through the whole con and my pigtails were tangling and the boots were cracking. The sewing wasn't that bad. Yeah. It was the pattern for the jacket is the same pattern I used for this.
Oh, okay.
Same puffy sleeves. So it wasn't just like I said, always test your stuff beforehand.
I mean, on the Ramiro set I did, she did all the sewing. I literally, if I get near her sewing machine, it wants to catch fire. Just to put it nicely, I'm more of the foam work kind of person, so I pretty much made all the accessories and props for both of us. And I mean, it was fun doing that because, it was easy, and so I really enjoyed it. And that's still one of my favorite sets to use, which I need to bring back.
I do want to give you credit for hand-stitching the fur into the Ramiro cosplay. You did do that.
Well, that much.
Alrighty, now you both have a unique set of skills as we've discussed cosplaying. What have you learned from each other, though? Like, what tips have you learned from one another when you're working together?
She went into the foam work more than like before me, because I used to use thermoplastic Warbler on thin foam, and it's really easy to work with. So that's how I did my armor. So I actually had to learn from her how to do just pure foam correctly.
I know how to do like a lot of the wiring and soldering. When it comes to actually programming LED lights and things like that, she's kind of the know-all for it. So I've had to literally sit down with her and be like, how do you do this code? I don't understand. So yeah, I've had to learn from her on that a lot, and also with sewing, because like I said, me and a sewing machine, we don't mix.
So as a group, as a partnership, how much does that strengthen that, like being able to rely on one another when you want to do group cosplays as we see today?
I mean, it's nice because it's people don't make cosplays as much as you think, like, because you can just buy them, and honestly, it's easier on the budget.
Yeah.
You know how much you're spending, so, and you don't have to make it, so that time sink is gone. But it's nice to have someone to team up with a, like, as a mini group, because we haven't been able to find other people to work with. So it's nice to already have a group. Other people kind of struggle with that.
Yeah.
I mean, pretty much what she said. It's pretty much it works to our benefit, because we kind of like any weakness like we have each other, we kind of build off like our strengths, and so kind of cover our bases completely. And I mean, it's always worked out because we try to always coordinate a lot of our cosplays to be kind of a group thing. So
Alrighty, now when you're both getting started in cosplay, what would you say was the one thing that you had to been told when getting started that may have helped you?
I'm trying to think. It's expensive. Like, you think, I'll get a machine to cut out that design and iron it on, and then you look up those Cricut machines and they're like $100 and something.
Yeah.
So I wish someone would have if you want to do this is how much the equipment's costless. That would have been really nice. And I'm trying to start doing that for people at panels.
Yeah.
I'll tell them, like, a heat gun's $20, but a good sewing machine's like $400.
Yeah.
pretty much money and time sink. I mean, literally, if you're especially like doing competitions like we do a lot, you're pretty much right up to almost the day of the con. You're constantly building. It's like, free time? What's free time?
At least you get to watch a lot of shows. So now, are there any upcoming projects you ladies want the world to know about that's coming up shortly?
Well, so we've been looking. I guess the way anime is made, there aren't as many armor sets. I don't know if it's fantasy stuff's less popular. So we started looking into Grand Blue, the games, and they actually came out with an anime. So we're going to try and go in that direction to pull from the anime and make armors from that. Because there's if you look up the designs for Grand Blue, there's some crazy looking stuff.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much we're going to stick more to the gaming, some anime, but we're really trying to focus now more kind of pushing our skills, trying to improve our skills even more, and kind of go to more like the Grand Blue area there for that, because their armor sets are just like chef kiss.
Alrighty, now, where can everyone on the world find you ladies online, and what message would you love to give to the fans that have been giving you support all this time?
Well, I'm mostly on Instagram, so Rgbfoxie, and I really appreciate it when people comment and and it's nice to know I have some support, because we're small time. We do a lot of work for cons, but we're just small timers.
Yeah, I mean, I'm mostly on Instagram too. I mean, Rgbwolfie, find me on there. Honestly, people that still follow me, I'm just like, wow. But honestly, thank you to everybody that's been supportive to both of us, and honestly, we just keep trying to improve every day and trying to get better. All that.
Well, ladies, thank you for coming out and joining us today, and hopefully the judging will go great this afternoon. Thank you so much.